Well, hi, I'm David Aleph, and I'm now launching the first part of a book that I'm writing as a podcast, and it's called Shaming God, How Insiders Do It Best. If you look behind me, the screen that I've chosen is this wonderful picture of the world. It's such a wonderful world, and I've never been that far out to look back at it, but I imagine it would be an extraordinary experience, because it's the only planet that we know of at this point that supports life in the vast forms in which this planet does. And it looks a pretty good place. Well, it is a good place, but it's not a good place also for many people. This world has been good to me, and hopefully it's been good to you, but there's lots of people who suffer extraordinarily. And some of those people I want to help through this book. Let me begin by quoting from the first chapter of the book, and it's actually not something I've written. It's something that Martin Luther, the Catholic priest who started the what was called the Christian Reformation, he wrote this, and he's the father of the Reformation. What a great man. And yet this is a document that he wrote in 1543. And so, dear Christian, beware of the Jews. You can see how God's wrath has consigned them to the devil, who has robbed them not only of a proper understanding of the Scriptures, but also of common human reason, modesty, and sense. Thus, when you see a real Jew, you may with a good conscience cross yourself and boldly say, "There goes the devil incarnate." Now, Luther didn't start off anti-Semitic. He spoke very kindly of the Jews and tried to form partnerships with them to achieve some of his goals. But he turned later. He forgot the central part of the message that was driving him, and that was the message of love and justice. And I fear that there are too many leading Christians, priests, pastors, television evangelists, and so on, who've forgotten the central core of the message, which is love. Let me now read that passage again to you. Exactly the same, but I'm going to make a small change. And so, dear Christian, beware of the gays and the lesbians. You can see how God's wrath has consigned them to the devil, who has robbed them not only of a proper understanding of the Scriptures, but also of common human reason, modesty, and sense. Thus, when you see a real gay man or a lesbian, you may with a good conscience cross yourself and boldly say, "There goes the devil incarnate." Now, if you believe any group of people is the devil incarnate, there's no limitation on what you might do to that group of people. And that is what is happening in many parts of the world today, including in Africa. I've started an organization with a few friends called Humanity in Need, Rainbow Refugees. We want to save lives, and we have done that. And we are trying to stop the victimization, the brutality, the false imprisonments, the bashings, and the starvation of people from that community who flee their own country, often from Uganda and other places, and they go to Kenya to try and find some asylum. But then they find that homophobia goes with them, and that other refugees who are there for different reasons also hate them with the same hatred that their families, their neighbours, their friends, the police, and the law has held for them in their own country. I believe Christians should be humanitarians. Some humanitarians might be Christians, but I believe all Christians should be humanitarians. We should all care for any human being on this planet who is starving, who is brutalized, who is falsely imprisoned. We should be doing something about it. Justice is justice.